And when God tells us that you're to be stewards of the earth, to cultivate it, in other words, produce something. To cultivate means to prepare the soil, to till the soil, and prepare it to produce crops. That means that the earth that you have, you are supposed to produce something with it. Produce something with your territory. You don't control your neighbor's yard. You don't have authority to be over there cutting somebody else's grass, and you don't have the deeds to the property. And trimming their hedges. Cut your own grass. Trim your own hedges. Cultivate your property. If you're going to grow tomatoes, grow them on your property. You're going to grow watermelons, whatever you want to grow it on your property. Cultivate it. In other words, what are you doing with your dirt, with the earth? What are you doing with the earth on which you stand? Your territory, of which you have stewardship. What are you doing with your dirt? We're dirt. Do something with your dirt. Don't just leave it there. Cultivate it. The one in Scripture, Jesus gave us a parable in Matthew chapter 25, and the one who took of the worth and value that he was and hid it in the dirt and didn't produce it, he didn't cultivate it. He says, "You wicked and lazy servant, depart from me, you who work iniquity." And the ones that took that dirt and cultivated it, he says, "Come, blessed of my Father, and enter now into the joy of the Lord." Because they cultivated it. Let me just tell you this. You have a God-given responsibility to cultivate your dirt. And you may be complaining and say, "You know what, it's just me. That's all I got." Cultivate it. Grow it. Grow something. Grow something. If you don't have a child, get a bird. Get a goldfish. Get a dog. Get a cat. Get a parakeet. Get something. Cultivate it. Watch something grow. Feed something and watch it grow. Get a flower bed. Get a garden in your backyard. Grow something. Take your dirt and produce something more than what you came. Don't just come here naked and leave naked and never make anything while you're here to say, "I'm in the same condition," because God will never bless that if you don't take responsibility of the dirt that God has given to you. Cultivate it and make yourself more than what you are. Expand this thing, grow this thing, water something, and watch it grow. Take authority over the dirt where God has placed you. That's what you're supposed to do with the earth. You're supposed to cultivate it. We're talking about earth, wind, and fire. So when you deal with earth, it's talking about cultivating. What are you producing with your dirt? What are you producing with your dirt? Your dirt, you ought to come up with a strategy. You ought to come up with a business plan. You ought to come up with a song, birth some music, birth a song, birth a poem, birth a dance, birth a curriculum, birth a book, birth some kind of digital platform, birth something. Make something more than what you are.